Yo, 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 what's up? According to the soil, the podcast, you see it right there at the top. It's all about the South Side, the best side, especially when it comes to that round ball with the laces and the wood bats. This is how we get it done. Your official White Sox podcast. We keep it real, we keep it a buck. And man, I'm co-hosting with my guy, Biggs Media, White Sox beat reporter, Terrence Tomlin at Tomlin Does It. What's up, bro?
Yes, sir. Hey, bro, I'm feeling good. Like you said, ready to keep it extra real on our Southside brothers, man. I feel like we're needed, man. I don't know how much attention you pay to White Sox Twitter,
Right.
but man,
Right.
we I think we're needed, bro. So we may be the heroes of the Sox fan base for right now.
Well, before we get into our topics this week, and for everybody, this is going to be a weekly podcast each and every Sunday night. We'll be recapping the week, talking about a few things about the teams, then giving you a little bit of, MLB on the way out, and then we'll look forward to the week to come. And to this point, I can't wait till we get to the week to come because this might be the best litmus test that we've had for this team coming up this week.
No, absolutely, man. I've been it's some games that you circle on the schedule, some series that you just look forward to. And this month of June has caught my eye the first time I saw it. The Blue Jays, we knew Vlad Jr. was going to be coming in here, and he ended up coming in here swinging a super hot bat. They were able to throw some ice on him. Right. And I know we'll get to that a little bit later, but man, you know what's waiting on us, less than 24 hours. The Tampa Bay Rays, who, I've paid a little bit of attention to, SD, man, and they playing some really fun baseball down there. So I'm looking forward to that measuring stick kind of series to see if our guys can continue to just show improve, SD, man. It's been a series about, facing adversity and just overcoming it, man. I'm low-key proud of those guys. I'm going to go deeper, but, I got to let you know I'm proud of those guys.
So we come out of this week. Let's go back and recap the week against Toronto. You mentioned it. They were able to hold a very good Toronto Blue Jays offense in check. 3 really good outings by the starting pitchers in that middle game, the national game that was, of course, on ESPN. Just seemed like the defense failed us a little bit late in that game. And it was kind of reversal of fortune, right? Because the first game, we were held in check offensively until about the 7th or 8th inning.
Yep.
Got that big time home run from Andrew Vaughn, and then we added some more runs to get the victory. Blue Jays had plenty of opportunities against Carlos Rodon, and they just couldn't get the runs across. And then our bats woke up late. And then the second game of the series, it was just like a total 180. We had the opportunities early, should have put that team away, couldn't. And then all of a sudden they get the big cricket number in the late innings and they end up with the victory. But we took 2 out of 3 from probably what you could say is the best series. Like if you could point to a series to say, okay, that's the signature series for the White Sox, it might be that Toronto Blue Jays series, especially when you see what they were doing offensively coming into the series and then what they went up to Fenway and did after they left Chicago.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like if you look and see how they took it out on the Red Sox, like you said afterwards, you look at what the White Sox were able to do, and you feel impressed. But like you said, it was a couple of weekends ago. Maybe 2 or 3 weekends ago, we had that series in the Bronx versus the Yankees, where I was feeling good about the White Sox, and they didn't come out of that one in good shape. I was wondering when they were going to find an opportunity to show improve again. It came in this Toronto series for sure, bro. The Blue Jays definitely had their chances, but it was really a series of pitching duels. You know what I mean? Some really good pitching from the South Side and, for some unusual suspects from the Toronto Blue Jays. But like you said, man, the offense coming through in the clutch situations, coming through with their backs on the wall was kind of the theme of that series, man. And I feel like what we're learning from these guys is that, first of all, you can never count them out. That's one of the things that I feel like I was interested in seeing if it would carry over from the Rick Renteria days. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see if they still had that fight. They definitely do. But at the same time, they're showing you that they can win in all kind of ways. Yeah, I mean, close games, blowouts, small ball, deep ball. So in that Toronto series, it was more of the same, man, showing you that this is a team that can grind out wins no matter what.
You look at the 3 starters that the Blue Jays threw at them, which for me is even more impressive what they were able to walk into Fenway and do.
Yeah, man.
Ray was fantastic. Man, he was like 95, 96 all night, even deep into the 7th inning. I think the pitch that Andrew Vaughn hit out to the opposite field was like a 95, 96 mile per hour fastball out of third, and he just put a good swing on it, and just got him out of the game. And then Manoah, the youngster, came back the next, struggled early. The White Sox had a couple of opportunities to get him early. But man, that kid showed the grit and toughness he had along with the stuff. He's going to be a good starter for them moving forward. And then Ryu in that third game, the crafty left-hander, doesn't throw as hard as the other 2 guys.
Yep.
But, he was able to put some things together, and, we were able to get the victory. But those are 3 solid starters. And for me, the resiliency, and this is something that, I will get to it because a lot of people are upset with Tony La Russa for a lot of different things. But one thing Tony La Russa has said, even going back to spring training, is that he knows this team. He said that from day one. He's like, I know my squad is going to compete. They're going to go out there and compete, and we don't give away at bats. So even when they struggle, that they're out there competing, and eventually it just takes 1 or 2 good moves or 2 good at bats and possibly put them in position to put runs on the board. You know what I'm saying? So that's would you say the most frustrating? So for you, the most frustrating series up to this point is what? The Yankee series?
That Yankee series. And of course, when you look back at a couple of the early series, couple of those early losses in the season, where I feel like Tony La Russa was knocking some of the dust off of his shoulders, just from being out of the game so long, just a couple of manager mishaps that I feel like could have been wins if this was a team that had been together for a little bit longer, especially with a new manager, some of the new pieces. But over the last month and a half, it's been so much more good than bad that I don't even want to call the Yankees series. It happens in baseball. It happens in baseball, and what you look at is how they've bounced back, man, and the way they take it out on the next series. And the way they don't stay down too long, man. I feel like that's more of what I pay attention to when it comes to some of the losses so far. They haven't done a bunch of losing,
Right. Well, 17 games over, man, at about a 6.19 clip winning percentage. You're right, man. They haven't lost a lot, but they continue to lose pieces of the core. Nick Madrigal goes down, and that's Toronto series trying to beat out an infield ground ball, and just came up lane about a step and a half short of first base, and he goes down, and very similar to how Luis got, trying to beat out infield ball. Right now, the prognosis is 1 or 2 things. We know it's a torn hamstring. Either it's going to be surgery, out for the year, or rehab it, and we're looking at him maybe being back late August.
You know what? And that injury happened in a game where I feel like we were seeing the best Nick Madrigal we had seen, man. I feel like he's one of the players that Tony La Russa had been having some fun with, moving them either at the top of that lineup behind Tim or right at the bottom where you'll get that Madrigal Tim combo, in some of the middle to late innings, man. And I thought it was really beneficial to the team. So I hated seeing him, hurt himself the way he did on that, on that grounder, bro. Because again, you just talked about it, bro. The competitive nature of this team, that he wanted to beat that grounder out.
Yeah.
And probably would have if he didn't have to pull up a little bit, man. But what's going on with these injuries? It is, I know we've had some ticky-tack ones, man, but the serious injuries to some of the core players have been, really significant this year. I feel like in the big picture of things, when it comes to guys like Nick Madrigal, they may, lean more towards the the long term, make sure he gets back right. It's not all about this year, even though, you lost Eloy, you lost Luis, you're still 17 games over 500, running away with the Central Division, top 2-3 teams and all of the, in the whole damn thing. And then you have this injury to Nick Madrigal. And I feel like this was the first time, at least I was like, okay, now. I'm like, okay, we lost Eloy.
Right.
You lose Luis.
Yeah.
You can't lose nobody else. I mean, especially not somebody significant. And then it happens to Nick. And then you just kind of sit back and you're like, well, it is what it is. Danny Mendick, come on down. It's been a beautiful situation. The next man up, and you kind of got to tip your cap to the guys because they just continue to pour out a little liquor for the homies and keep it moving.
Keep it going.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the best quality of this team so far.
I agree totally. The camaraderie of this team is amazing. For me, I think that last Cleveland series at up in Cleveland, for me, was probably the most frustrating, especially that Bieber game, because we had him on the ropes.
Yeah, man.
We had him on the ropes, man, and we unfortunately we end up losing that game 6-5, and we had runners in position. Jose at the plate to go ahead and get it done. He hasn't gotten it done, or he didn't get it done in that situation. I don't want to say he hasn't gotten it done because the man is leading, American League in RBIs once again.
Typical Jose Abreu stuff.
Jose, and he's just getting up into the 50s. And, they've played more games than they played last year in the truncated season, and he had 62 RBIs in the truncated.
Monster, yeah.
It's crazy. So you brought up something that I really want to tap into before we start talking about the Nick Madrigal. We can stick right there. Panic, not the fan base, but the White Sox internally. Panic or patience now when it comes to how they approach the Nick Madrigal injury situation, and regardless of whether or not they receive a good prognosis, will they say to him, we would much rather you go ahead and have the surgery. We got you because we want you to be fully healthy. We don't want to take any chances. And then as they look across the landscape of Major League Baseball, it's a lot of people trying to make the connection of Trevor Story and the Rockies. How much do you give up for him? You have the two big guys coming. Before you even answer that, you touched on something that's really dope. Give me, where would the three guys that are hurt, if I said, give me your top 5 guys that cannot get hurt on this roster at the beginning of the season, what would have been your top 5? I'm interested in hearing this.
The top 1 and 2 guys are definitely were the first 2 to go. I'm definitely thinking Luis.
You would have put Luis before Jose.
Yes, because I feel like even if Jose goes out, then I feel like that's when Tim Anderson, that's when you just see him kind of evolve into more, the leader that he's going to be eventually. I feel like this team is, and let me know if I'm tripping, but I just feel like the theme has been that these guys are just not ahead. There's no such thing as being ahead of your time when it comes to these guys. Yeah. And even if Jose went out, I feel like his leadership, the guys would have picked it up and somehow. Now, productivity wise, man, when you look at the power, in that 3, 4, 5, where Eloy and Luis would have been, I'm struggling to still understand how they've survived without that there. And I know it took a super surprise and our boy Yermin. Yermin stepping in and starting off as hot as he did.
Right.
That was just an insane situation, but it just goes along with the guys are contagious. But I'm definitely going Eloy, Luis, and then I'm probably going Jose Abreu as my top 3. But then we've seen this team with some guys that, that have been done. We've seen Tim Anderson hurt for an extended period of time, and we know what we missed when he's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Major injuries to the pitcher staff would have been devastating, I feel. You know what I mean?
That probably would have been definitely the most devastating thing if we had lost Giolito or
Lance Lynn, because we had a Lance Lynn scare early on in the season. Yeah. And I didn't even know what his injury was. I'm sitting there like, how? Like, it ended up being a nerve issue in his back or something.
Yeah.
And so, but he's bounced back great from that. So, you keep your fingers crossed because the bullpen has been shaky, and you still want Kopech to come back.
Has the bullpen been shaky, or has it just been isolated incidents? I asked this because I really want to like throw that out there because the fan base has kind of just made that like a sticking point. Like with 17 games, over 500, 5.5 clear Cleveland as of today. And like they act like the bullpen on Fangraphs is like the 5th best bullpen in Major League Baseball. Like, and I think you have guys like the decline of Matt Foster. He had a good outing this weekend against Detroit.
He did.
Blowout game.
Evan Marshall,
he struggled, but then he looked good. I think they just been inconsistent.
100%.
They haven't been as consistent as we thought.
Especially because last season, I feel like those are the guys you leaned on heavy. And it came through most of the time. You know what I mean? So those were the guys that you kind of thought you weren't going to have to worry about. But you look at the new additions, man. You know, Michael Kopech, who I feel like has been just amazing, just been able to do whatever he's been asked. You know what I mean? Just to have him in the bullpen gives you a bullpen what most teams don't have. You know what I mean? So, but I still feel like Tony La Russa has to find his road to Hendricks. You know what I mean? He does have to solidify some kind of path to his closer.
I think he wants it to be. I'm looking at the playoffs. If he had everything the way he wanted it to go, I'm thinking he would want the 7th to either be Kopech, Crochet, the 8th to be Bummer, and the 9th to be Hendricks. That's everything working together. But Bummer has been inconsistent, so he really hasn't been able to pick. But he keeps putting him in those situations. Bummer was fantastic Friday night.
He was
fantastic Friday night.
But see, now I'm wondering, what do you think about Liam, you know, with those 2 innings? You know what I mean? What do you think about him as a 6-out closer? Is that something that you think he can handle in a pressure situation? Is that going to be the go-to move? Because if you can go Kopech, Crochet, then pass it to Liam, you know what I mean? That should be, you know, able to close the door. That's at least what I've been feeling.
I think we're touching on, I think right now, we're really foreshadowing what Rick Hahn's going to be looking at the trade deadline. Like this discussion right here, we're kind of foreshadowing like who's going to be that guy you add to this mix to give you the 4 horsemen to lead you to the end of that ball game. Because you have three. You have 3 for sure. Who's going to be that other guy? You have Crochet, you have Kopech. Bummer's been a little inconsistent. If they get one more solid arm that they can really depend on via a trade or something like that, especially a veteran, or possibly have somebody there's a kid in Double-A who was supposed to be a starter, and they pretty much exclusively let him to go to the bullpen, and this dude is just dynamite. So we might have another Bobby Jinks situation coming when we get August and September. So there's a lot of things that can happen, you know, but I agree with you. I think he's looking for that path of Liam Hendricks, and I don't want to see him. I'm cool with him getting 4 outs. If he has to come out at the end of the 8th, on base, 2 outs to get a right-hander or just to get anybody that's a tough hitter, I'm cool with that. And then get a fresh, you know, a clean inning in the 9th. I'm cool with that, but I don't want him, you know, going 2 innings.
No, as long as, like you said, I feel like Kopech and Crochet, honestly. You know what I mean? I almost feel like if you can get a little bit out of Evan Marshall, what we saw from him today, right?
Yeah.
If you can get that, you're good.
Man, what upsets me, T, and I don't want to get too much and too deep into it, but like when you have Evan Marshall, Matt Foster, these dudes have really good stuff. They can throw 94, 93 to 95 up in the zone with the fastball, good changeups, decent sliders, but they try to nitpick way too much on that outside corner, man. And it's like, yo, when you have good stuff, use both sides of the plate, man. Move their eyes, man. I think everybody, when it comes to them, everybody knows where they're going to be throwing, and they're making it more difficult for themselves when they come out of the bullpen. Because Marshall has a very good power changeup. Very good.
Let me tell you, I feel like that was the issue amongst the entire pitching staff. At some point this year, man, guys that can overpower you or can basically put it wherever they want, trying to be a little bit too pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts.
And I feel like that comes from feeling like they can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? That they can get the pitches that they want whenever they want. But sometimes you just got to go at guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just got to go at guys and sit them down. So I feel like you mix that, and then you understand that these guys are coming back from injury, trying to pick it up on the fly. You see the starting rotation hold it down to where they are, and you want to go ahead and fulfill that for the bullpen. So you asked about patience or panicking. It's definitely about patience with these guys. I mean, you look at the calendar, it's still June.
Right.
And like you said, they've shown flashes. I mean, they've shown that it's there. They just got to get consistent with it,
So are you patient with do you think they should be patient in how they approach the roster and stick with Mendick and stick with Lurie and that combination unless something comes up right around the trade deadline? Should they be patient and just play it out? I mean, they are 5.5 games clear. Cleveland looks like they're playing good. They have a tough 7-game stretch coming up. That's going to start with Tyler Glasnow tomorrow night at home. But should they be patient or should they be aggressive?
You know what? I feel like the White Sox are in an interesting situation where they have a core where it's seemingly like the best of their careers are in front of them. But when you look at what's going on right now, I feel like you have to feel like this team is good enough to win it all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially in the American League, I feel like you have to feel like you can compete and get to the American League Championship Series. And because of that, I'm not saying you have to panic, but you cannot be patient. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I don't think that this is a team. And then you look at the manager. Yeah, I mean, they didn't bring Tony La Russa here to be, 3-4 years in trying to get a championship. This is this year.
Yeah,
here and now. I mean, this is a this year kind of thing. And I feel like when you look down the line, if Madrigal is out for the rest of the year, then you definitely have to address that situation. And, Chris Goodwin, I mean, they've done good at piecing together pieces. Jake Lamb at the beginning of the season, you mentioned it early on, giving these guys an opportunity to do their thing, they've delivered. But if they can – go ahead.
Doesn't this remind you, man, because this is funny because, like, you guys cover the Bulls too. Like, this reminds you, like, post-Derek injury.
100%.
And it didn't matter what point guard they brought in, they were going to flourish.
Nate
Robinson, John Lucas III, it didn't matter.
C.J. Watson, bro.
Because the atmosphere and, like, the camaraderie and the team, that was like, we're not going to lose. We're going to continue to go out here and win.
And that's 100 SD. I feel like that's 100% what it is. And talking to the guys over the last couple of years, it's crazy to have seen them go from just one or two players like Jose, Tim, are the most confident players on the team to now it's the, top to bottom. Anybody that fills in is going to have that confidence. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've seen it with Billy Hamilton. You know what I mean? And the way that he's came and able to, breathe life into his career when he's, a couple of teams, it felt like he was done.
Out the door. Yeah. Same thing with Godwin. Godwin said that yesterday, this weekend, when he had that big game, that first game where he came out and had 5 RBIs, the big home run, he said, look, the White Sox were the only team that reached out to me. They were the original team that drafted me right out of high school.
Yep.
And I decided to go to college. And, man, I was on my way out. And I didn't like how I got put out of the last situation I was in. Now I got a chip on my shoulder. So I'm about to make people pay. And when you get somebody like that and it get them to infuse into that locker room,
yes,
it's like, okay, like we just got an unseen blessing that we never expected.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? And I'm gonna go back to the I'm gonna touch a little bit back on what we were talking about. Jose Abreu and him being the captain, but the leadership roles amongst the team. Yeah. When that situation with Yermin hitting the home run on 3-0,
right?
We really got a deep look into this locker room. You know what I mean? And the way that they rallied around Yermin, even some of the guys who I think people would consider Tony La Russa guys, like Lance Lynn.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Coming out and saying, no, this locker room is tight. If you putting on the jersey and you in the trenches, we're riding it. And honestly, that's the type of locker room, that ends up in World Series. You know what I mean? So SD, I got my fingers crossed that at least one of the guys comes back. You know what I mean? I feel like
that cat Eloy's IG right now is he's itching. You can see it.
Yeah, man.
He's itching.
And he's itching, and I feel like he's gonna have a big chip on his shoulder. I think he felt really embarrassed. I feel
because he was already hurt for the playoff push.
Yeah, man.
So he was upset about that. And from what we're hearing, Louis is healing at an accelerated pace.
And see now that that's the thing that I feel like I don't want to pay too much attention to. Yeah, because I want Luis to be good for the long haul as well. You know what I mean? I don't want him to lose any of that speed. I don't want him to lose, anything. So even though I'm glad to see that he's good, and I know that the organization is looking at him like, hey, man, if you can get back in August, be my guest.
Right.
Nobody's going to stop him. But, as somebody who wants the window to stay open, I feel like it's value in keeping the window open as long as you possibly can.
Right.
I'm still, if they come back in August, that the rest of the league should be on notice. That'd be scary, Joe.
Man, if you had asked me, because I didn't get a chance to give you my top 3. If you had asked me 3 people, I'm like, man, we can't lose these 3 guys at any point in time to a major injury. I would have had Jose and Tim 1 and 2, right?
Okay.
I'm like, dude, you just need that RBI guy. Like that dude, you need that dude. So
Jose, 35, yeah.
And to me, Jose and Tim are interchangeable because Tim is so much the engine of this team and the heartbeat of this team and the engine to this offense. It's like, when he goes, man, the offense goes.
100%. And you see how he just comes back on business. Like it's no let me get warmed up, period.
Yeah.
He just jumps right back into the fire every time, and you just see what you missed immediately.
Right.
So I feel you. I feel you on that for sure.
So as we move forward, man, and we get ready to preview the 3 games set at home with the Tampa Bay Rays. And as I said before, Lance Lynn, man, we got a great matchup in game 1. We had pitcher duels, the 3 games, and I expect nothing but the same in this Tampa series. And it's starting out with Lance Lynn and Tyler Glass now. I mean, that right there, we're probably talking about between those 2 guys, we might see like 70% fastballs thrown.
100%. And a lot of guys sitting down. You know what I mean? You're going to I feel like you're going to see a lot of Ks tomorrow, bro. And honestly, this is another one that I have circled tomorrow that I can't wait for, man. Lance Lynn. I know Carlos Rodon has done what he's done this year. But Lance Lynn, for my money, has been our best arm. And for him to get this matchup versus Glasnow. I think was Glasnow leading the league in Ks? He's 1 or 2.
Yeah, I believe he's leading the league in Ks.
And
And
you got Lance Lynn, because I know DeGrom is leading the ERA, so Lance Lynn is either 2 or 3, over there. So
see, that Rodon thing is like, it's crazy. Like Rodon, I think in order to qualify for the ERA, you have to have as many innings as games played for your team to qualify. So Rodon never qualifies until he pitches. And
wow.
then once they play, he falls back out because
That's
he doesn't
crazy.
have innings. So it's 117 for Tyler Glass now. 117 Ks, only 26 walks. He has given up 10 home runs though. So
and that's what you know what, SD, I was just about to say that. I feel like the guys, I look at Tim and I know that he's been he's just missed a couple. I'm feeling like tomorrow is going to be a day for those balls to fly.
Fly out.
Yes, sir.
Especially going to right field. That gesturing to right field, you definitely can get it out, especially on a hot night. I think this week is supposed to be a little bit cooler than it was last week.
Yeah, like high 70s, low 80s.
Yeah. So by the time first pitch hits, we're probably looking at maybe mid 70s, for the high.
Oh yeah, could be some fireworks tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, some fireworks and some lights going on and off.
Flashing lights. Come on, let's get them.
Second game, Shane McClanahan against Dallas Keuchel. Dallas Keuchel was absolutely amazing in his last outing, man.
And again, you felt that coming for him. Yeah, I mean, I feel like he battled through May. He had a decent start to kick June off, but I feel like you saw that he had the stuff that he wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't get a chance to see all of his last start, but what I saw, I'm like, oh yeah, this is him turning the corner. Yeah, I mean, this is him getting into Dallas Keuchel form for sure.
I think the toughest game for the White Sox, and that, McClanahan and Glasnow are two really good power pitching right-handers. The toughest game to me, because I've seen the White Sox struggle with these guys, are left-handers that throw hard and throw up in the zone. The White Sox batting against the BABIP against high fastballs.
Oh yeah,
I think their slugging is like 7th, but their average is something like 24th. You know what I'm saying? So you go back, and I forget the kid's name, the young left-hander that pitched that first game for the Yankees. He threw 94, 95, but it was up in the zone. And, man, he just kind of mystified the White Sox. And it was a tough game. It was frustrating. You kept saying, like, how are they not hitting this kid, man? And they struggle. Even Scooble, they finally got to him, but he had pitched a great game when they faced off at a guaranteed rate. He pitched a really good game on that Saturday and got the dub for the Tigers. So Yarbrough is another kid, strong left-hander, young, throws 94, 95, up in the zone, and he has a really good breaking ball too. So guys like that, I think that's going to be the toughest matchup. I really think they can get the Glass now. I really think they can get the McClanahan.
Yeah.
And the matchup Yarbrough against Gio in that game. We don't know. It's that point now. We're hoping Gio is starting to get back into form, but sometimes we just don't know. And that's a 110 start too. So that's a day game. And Gio hasn't pitched well during day game.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Lucas, bro, I feel like, and I talked to, somebody that scouted him, in his days during the Nationals, and they said that they didn't like the way he was throwing, even though it was cold. They was like, yeah, his fastball isn't his go-to pitch the way it needs to be in order for him to, be as effective as he is, and that changeup isn't, isn't there as much as it was, in his Cy Young candidacy year. But he's another guy I feel like just needs a little bit of patience. I feel like, July, August, if he's still looking this way, then we'll hit the panic button. But I'm definitely willing to give Lucas a little bit of time.
The best thing that has happened for Lucas is that even though he was considered the ace, the pressure has been alleviated by the performance of Rodon and Lance Lynn.
Because he's kind of turned into the fifth. Yeah, I mean, at least far as production wise, he's turned into that starter. Yeah, I mean, even Dylan Cease has come in and been consistent. Yeah, I mean, I think that he kind of, I talking to Dylan Cease after the game, I feel like he felt the pressure from Michael Kopech. I mean, Dylan Cease may have felt like if Kopech is taking somebody's spot, then it may be mine. You know what I mean? And no, sir. And I loved it. I love the way he responded to that. But I feel like Lucas Giolito may have felt a little too comfortable. You know what I mean? I think he may have been taking that ace talk to the head when I feel like when you look at this rotation, anybody, you know what I mean? Anybody can be the ace. And I'm going to keep saying Michael Kopech, because I feel like come playoff time,
that ace title is temporary.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
I want people to understand. The White Sox gonna have to cut a $300 million check in about 2-3 years, bro.
Exactly, SD.
When I'm talking about 34,
yes,
it's a big contract coming in that man's future.
It's a different vibe when he's on the mound.
Jerry's gonna have to cut the check, man. He's gonna have to
100%. You know what? And I know we've had the conversations about cutting, the White Sox cutting the check. I hope that they don't try to cut any corners with our boy. You know what I mean? I feel like,
you know what? That's something we can get into before we tap into the Astro series, which is going to be a really good series, another great litmus test this week, 4-game series on the road. Yep. We've had disagreement over the financial dealings and the financial plans of the White Sox, majorly around the whole Manny Machado thing.
Yeah.
Right? And
free agency and how they spend their dollars. Yeah.
Right. All right. And this is what I want to say, and this is why to this point I would say that Rick Hahn has to be in the running, seriously in the running for Executive of the Year, in my opinion, in spite of everything and all of the obstacles and injuries and everything that's happened to this team. I still think he's done an amazing job, and he's added just enough depth. Man, and knows his team that this team can keep rolling. So when I say that, I think the White Sox have done an amazing job of using the assets that they had, which was Sale and Quintana, to get top flight players in return that can be the core of a championship team. Not only have they done that, but they restructured their economic model, if you really look at them. Mm-hmm. They did go after Manny Machado and try to get him to be the cornerstone.
They did.
Along with Tim Anderson. And it didn't work out. And we could debate whether or not they should have just gone ahead and guaranteed him the $320 up front, and just gave him the bag, and San Diego would have never gotten into the race. I contend that he never wanted to be here in Chicago. I truly believe that. I truly believe he wanted to be on the coast. He wanted to be in a warm weather place. And that's why he played chicken with the White Sox and pretty much used them as leverage.
I feel that too.
That's my thing. But people that hold Han's feet over the fire for that situation, I get it. Rock out. Can't get on you for feeling that way. Can't get on you for feeling Jerry Reinsdorf is cheap in that situation. I get it. But what they did to take more money and invest in the international pool, to build the facility in international, I think it's Venezuela, to have more impact in that area, to get the brand in that area so the young kids coming up can recognize the White Sox brand. So they see, and then go out, you get Luis, right? First you get Jose, which was the big get.
Yes, sir.
Right? He's a god to those players, right? Then
yes, sir.
Luis, right? You draft Mickey Rodolfo, who's just struggled with injuries and he's currently in Double-A. That's the reason you haven't seen him, because he's been injury prone, right? Then you go and you get baby Cespedes. The same time you get baby Cespedes, you go ahead and get the number one pitcher in the international pool.
Yes, sir.
You turn around, and even though you don't have the money, you pretty much lock up Oscar Colas before the next international pool session even starts. So you got the number one dude coming in there. So what they've done is they've said, okay, let's restructure this. We're not going to compete with Boston, New York,
Yes,
for those big guys. Let's put our money, national talent, give them the signing bonuses, and then they get to the major leagues. Give them that long-term deal that's not going to kill us, so we can lock them up for 5 to 6 years. And that's the plan. That's the model they changed. They tried to, Tom, when they won the World Series, they went out and got Tomlin.
Yep.
Then after Tomlin, they went and got Adam Dunn. Like, they tried that model, and it has not been successful for them. So it's like, why keep banging your head up against and try to be something that you're not? They're not a. This is where we disagree. To me, they're not a big market team. They're just not. They're not a big market team. They are in a big market, but their wallet is more of a mid-major.
And I feel that.
Look at it. And you have to look at this too. The Central Division in the American and National League has to be the two cheapest divisions in baseball when it comes to the owners. Has to be.
Period. Now let me tell you, bro. I feel like when we had that crazy debate about Manny Machado and just the overall look at how the White Sox were known for spending their bread and their reputation versus what was in front of them at the moment. I feel like what I wanted to see is like, okay, if you're not going to go ahead and throw the bag at Machado, then what's the plan?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, the plan is we're going to trust our guys, that are homegrown, and we're going to watch them flourish, and we're going to bet on them. Right. But then at the same time, and I didn't know this at the time, but it was like you said, let's restructure our international market and our brand as far as those players go. And basically, let's focus on what we're good at. You know what I mean? Let's take a step back. Let's see what we're good at. Like you said, we brought Jose, who is basically, like you said, a god to those guys. And let's see what we can turn it into, man. And honestly, who's the last top international player that the White Sox either, if they didn't get him, weren't in the top consideration to get him, bro. And in turn, I feel like they've also become a spot for free agents, man. They had a great free agent run, last year, bringing in Lance Lynn, bringing in Liam Hendricks, and just upgrading, their pitcher staff, upgrading their closer position. We're proving guys,
Yeah, Grandpa was a great get.
Absolutely.
Free agent.
Yep. So I feel like they kind of killed two birds with one stone. You feel me?
Yeah. I don't see them going out and getting they have to cut the check for Kopech though.
Oh yeah.
Don't even play around with the kid. Maybe you get a discount if you go ahead and re-up them early. But man, cut the check.
That's what a smart GM would do. You know what I mean? And I feel like Rick Hahn definitely sees that's on the table. I feel like the injury that he's going through now, the hamstring, the way he fell off the mound, it was scary. But I saw a video of him running today. The man is a gamer, and I feel like after he made that decision to sit the season out, it was a lot of questions around his mental stability and everything like that. But honestly,
fans were talking about trade him. I'm like, man, are y'all
crazy? I was impressed. Honestly, the fact that he was able to take a step away showed me mental strength. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, okay, this dude is serious about his, what he does. You know what I mean? And I in talking to him, I never questioned the fact that he was going to come back on his game, because he's one of those baseball players that takes great care of his body. He's going to do yoga. He's going to eat right. That just was him.
Yeah.
So I'm totally happy to see that he came back. And although he wasn't hitting 100 as much as he was before, and I know that was kind of the allure when it came to him, the man has one of the most amazing fastballs I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Yo, like you said, it's not like he told the ugly girl, the ugly unpopular girl, man, I need to take a step back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He told
the hot young popular chick.
Yeah, exactly. He told the hot one.
I need a break. Right. And like like you said, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's like, I'll come back when I'm ready.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I come back when it's like, okay, do your thing, get right. So yeah, man. Honestly, when you look at the way these guys are playing right now, you're excited for this year. But man, like looking down the line, I just feel like, and I feel like I kind of learned, and I'm gonna throw this out here from covering the Cubs with Gino.
Yeah.
Kind of learned that you can never bet on the window staying open as long as it looks like it's going to be open.
Right.
You know, so that you want to win now, but man, right now the future is set up really nice.
Because you always think, oh man, this is going to be a nice 4 or 5 year run, and all you have to do is look, on the other side of the city, and just look at
clamoring, clamoring for a piece of what people said they were going to be, and they're doing their thing, but they're supposed to be the Dodgers, basically,
Yeah. Now they're trying to figure out, do we keep these dudes?
Exactly.
And it's like, I don't want to be at that point. And I know, like, out of the 5 guys, well, Jose's coming to the end of his career anyway. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he has 3.
So, yeah, how many years you think Jose has left, man?
I think he plays, but this is the thing, right? Jose is going to have a statue out in front of that stadium one day.
He is.
He's on a Hall of Fame pace. And as long as he continues to drive runs in, I don't look at his average like that. When he got here, Jose was hitting like 300, giving you 30 home runs and driving in runs.
Exactly.
Now he's around
270.
270.
Yeah.
But he's still giving you the home runs and he's driving in like big runs all the time. As long as he's doing that, he's going to be the anchor. And he's going to make it easier for Eloy behind him and Yohan in front of them as they get older. Like, the game is going to be easy because you have that guy in the 4th spot.
See, now I feel like it's going to get interesting because, and I was saying this when Eloy was healthy. I'm wondering I was thinking of ways, how do you get Eloy out of the outfield? And of course, I'm looking at that DA spot. I'm looking at first base.
But Andrew Vaughn has made that really flexible now. Like, he's performed very well in left field, and he plays first base. The few games he's played first base, he's made some really good defensive plays. He made a 3-6-3 double play, a big double play, and again late in the game.
That's an athlete. He's slow, but he got a good mind. You know what I mean?
He's anticipation, and he knows how to play the game.
Yeah. Period.
Before we get to the Astros, are you re-signing? Are you pulling Rodon in the office? Like, hey, all right, I got a 2-year deal for like 2025.
You know what? I feel like, and call it what you want, but I'm not messing with Rodon right now. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Whatever Rodon is doing to have him pitch at this level, I feel like if I'm management, I want him to know that I love it, but I don't want him to feel like he doesn't have anything to prove. You know what I mean? It's like Rodon is out there on a mission.
Facts.
Every single day. The man is as healthy as he's been since he's been in the league. And I feel like I can't think of a player that I've eaten my words with as much as Carlos Rodon, bro. I didn't see this kind of season for him until I started to see him in the spring. And I'm like, what the hell? What is that? 97, 98?
Right.
90, I'm like, gee, what is Rodon on?
He was like trip digits today.
Yeah, like late. Like he can push it late. So the man has been a horse and he's been on point. It's definitely in his future though. I'm definitely circling him as now. You're here to stay, bro.
Yeah.
Another pleasant surprise that I feel like is what you needed. If you're a team with championship aspirations, man, you signed your players who you knew were going to have an impact, and it was always about, okay, where are my other guys? You know what I mean? And for Carlos Rodon to step up and to be pitching like a 1 or 2 arm on his staff, I just man, like honestly, it's one of the best stories so far this season. when it comes to players, but from a White Sox perspective, totally a late bloomer. One of the first guys you got over here after you lost the big names. One of the first guys you were kind of betting the house on, and to see him come through, I mean, it's another tip of the cap to Rick Hahn, and the guys up there for sure.
So we go to Houston, 4-game set. Houston's playing very well. Solid team, one of the best contact hitting offenses in the league. So you have a team in the White Sox that's good at striking batters out, going up against a team that doesn't like to strike out a lot. And they make a lot of contact. And that's with a lot of power guys in the lineup. We're seeing the resurgence of Altuve, who struggled in a truncated season. And they're getting surprising pitching from their starters. And Dusty Baker is doing a fantastic job. They beat Minnesota, in the playoffs last year and advanced. And I thought people thought after the scandal, the cheating scandal, they thought they would fall off.
Thought it was sweet.
Yeah, but, you got Correa in a walk year, a big contract waiting for him. So, he's going to be motivated and inspired. You got Altuve trying to come back to show that he's a top-notch player.
Yeah, to get his reputation back. Yeah.
Bregman is just a dog.
Yeah.
Bregman is just a dog in the field, in the box. Like, he just gets it done. They have Alvarez, the youngster, and they have some other youngsters coming up that are really, making an impact and contributing.
100%, man. I feel like just sans the whole cheating shit. I mean, excuse me. I feel like I'm one of the guys that felt like if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And
especially baseball, dude.
Yeah, especially in baseball when it's all about a competitive advantage. You see what these pitchers are doing when it comes to doctoring these balls. I mean, the Houston Astros are the guys that got caught. Yeah, I mean, I totally don't believe they were the I don't believe they were the only guys that were deep into had their own kind of cheating method. They were the ones that got caught, and honestly, they were the ones that benefited the most. Yeah, I mean, I also don't want to act like it didn't help them win it all. I mean, I feel like it definitely, is a unique way to cheat that I feel like, oh yeah, this is some cheating stuff. This is gonna make you better. Right. But I still feel like this is one of the most impressive collections of talent in the last few years in baseball, and the way the Houston Astros just continue to perform offensively, bro. Like you said, the way they play that classic style of baseball, just contact with solid pitching. They got our boy Dusty, in the dugout, kind of keeping his hands on the steering wheel to kind of get them past that, that dark cloud that was, I feel like Dusty's been great. But I feel like it's another opportunity for the White Sox to show that it's their time. I feel like the White Sox can beat up on these guys. And like you said, I feel like this is a pitcher staff that can overpower anybody and basically impose their will. So I feel like the White Sox are moving towards a situation where the league is about to recognize them as one of the best teams. I feel like we've thought it for a while. Yeah, and on the opportunities they've had on the major stage, like you said, have kind of been underwhelming. But it's all about timing. And right now, even with losing another guy, honestly, I feel like this is a chance for these guys to go on a hot streak. They did it after they lost the first two guys, and they showed it. In this series versus Detroit, bro, they just stepped to the plate. Yeah,
so we'll be facing Urquidy, Garcia, Valdez, and then Lance McCullers, and we'll be going with Thiis, Rodon, Lynn, and Keuchel to close it out. So
money.
Cash money. Once again, for me, I look at that, and Valdez is the guy I worry about the most because he's a strong left-hander with a good breaking ball.
And honestly,
and the White Sox are really good against left-handers. It's just those types of left-handers.
I feel like they've been better versus left-handers.
No, they're really good against left-handers, but left-handers that pitch up in the zone.
Yeah.
I said before, man, tend to give them trouble. But they're always going to be in the game no matter who's they're going up against because their pitching has been just that good.
Exactly.
So even when they have lost the left-handers, it's been a close game where they had opportunities in the game to score against that pitcher, and they just didn't get the job done. That's what it comes down to.
100% SD. That's 100% on point with what I'm feeling when it comes to that pitching staff. Like I said, they impose their will, bro.
Yep.
And like you said, to get Lance Lynn and Dylan Thiis at who were the last two arms? I know we got Carlos Rodon.
We throw Thiis. It's Thiis, Rodon, Lynn, and then Keuchel.
Yeah, to throw Lynn and Keuchel into that series. Yeah, it's gonna be personal
for Keuchel.
Oh yeah,
that's something that is gonna be personal for Keuchel.
That's some get back. You feel me? Yeah. That's some get back. And honestly, one of the things that won me over with Keuchel was he was the first one to come out and speak on what was going to Houston. And I know that he was moving on, so he had a little bit of a cushion.
Yeah.
But he was the first one to say, hey, yeah, we was out here. Yeah. Okay. Right. Period. Like, I don't care what everybody is like, yeah, we was out here. Baseball.
Right. Next. So, man, let's end it up, man. We always ended up with caught looking, something that just kind of like caught us by surprise or caught our eye around Major League Baseball. I'm going to jump it off, man. Pete Alonso, slugger for the New York Mets. You know, MLB says they're going to be cracking down on illegal substances that pitchers are using on baseballs, that's increasing the spin rate and giving them a better grip for their breaking balls. That memo is supposed to be coming this week from Major League Baseball. They're finalizing that. But Pete Alonso and his he was like, basically, look, we use pine tar and everything else to get a better grip on the bat. He was like, I could really care less whether or not they use a substance to get a grip on the baseball. And, you know, I just think for him, I like guys like that. Like, I don't care what you're putting on the ball. I'm in this batter's box. Let's get at it.
No, SD, I 1,000% feel that because I feel like every year it's some kind of thing where, you know, they're doctoring the balls. Now we got to move the mound back or whatever.
Which is ridiculous.
It's refreshing to hear.
Right.
Yeah. So an actual competitor out here that's like, nah, send them at me. You know?
Right.
Because it's been going on since forever. It's been going on since forever.
Nothing new. It's nothing new. You know what I'm saying? If a guy's throwing 100, man, put the wood on the ball.
And I feel like it's been blown up because you have a couple of guys that have been caught red-handed.
And the fact that, you know, it's a 15% discrepancy between the strikeout rate, which is at an all-time high, 24%. Yeah. That's the league average. And then the league average of the walk rate is 9%.
And, so and then you talk about
history.
Exactly. You look at that, and then you look at, you know, all of these no-hitters, these I get a no-hitter alert every other day on my phone.
We had one today.
Exactly. Carlos Rodon, one hitter.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so but I feel like at some point you do have to tip your cap to the pitchers. You got to tip your cap to what they're able to do now. You know what I mean? The way these balls break these days, SD. Yeah, I mean, I don't, you know, going back to my JRW days.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
Yeah, so I feel him, but no, shout out to Pete Alonso for keeping it real and not letting the narrative take over, because I feel like a lot of that is just narrative.
So what caught you looking, man? Anything catch you looking this week?
You know, not necessarily this week as a whole, though, bro. But I've been paying a lot of attention to our boy Chris Bryant. That I feel like he's taken it on the chin the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
In this city that I feel like should love him more. Like, I feel like I'm constantly surprised at the fact that he's the number 2 guy. You know what I mean? When I feel like he's the most talented baseball player in Chicago. You know, I look at the way he's producing. I feel like he's been able to kind of spark something over there that they haven't had in 2 or 3 years. And I feel like he's going to make some team very happy.
Right.
And it's not going to be the Cubs. So I've honestly been rooting for him to kind of stick it to his haters, and to see him doing it and being consistent with it really from the start of the year all the way on, bro, I'm starting to get a little bit more excited about, or a little bit more interested about who's going to have the guts to pull the trigger on him. I'm looking at the Yankees. I'm thinking that they're going to find a way to take a swing at him. I'm just, interested in seeing if the Cubs unload somebody, are they going to stick with what the kind of consensus has been over the last couple of years and move Chris Bryant? Yeah, I mean, I think that he's going to put some team over the hump, bro.
You want him putting on that black pinstripe jersey, man?
Why not? I mean, why not? I mean, I feel like he's comfortable in the city. And the two teams are familiar when it comes to business.
Right.
I'll be interested to see what the White Sox got in their chamber, but I do feel like, good teams are going to start to kick the tires over there on the north side.
Yeah, the Red Sox have been kicking the tires.
Yeah, bro.
Around Chris Bryant for about a year and a half. So
yeah, it's sharks in the water. It's sharks in the water waiting.
I'll just throw this out there. Especially with the way Bellinger continues to get injured.
Oh yeah.
I think the Amazing Blue would actually come out.
That would hurt. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a couple of places that Chris Bryant going to would it would be like, really? But
like, man, we need the commissioner to come in like David Stern on the Chris Paul.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, press that. But honestly, I feel like if the White Sox get creative out here, then why not? But I feel like, you look at what the White Sox were able to pull off, getting Eloy and Dylan Cease, the Cubs would be crazy to pick up the phone if Rick Hahn is calling. It's like, not this dude again. I learned.
Yeah.
So
it's really a pipe dream too. Like, it sounds good, but we know who his agent is. We know he's hitting free agency, and it'll be a rental. That's all it would be.
It's going to be a rental, and then it's going to be a super bidding fest for this man. So
now if it's a rental, that means the ask is real cheap.
And honestly, that I feel like with the injuries that they've had, and teams knowing that they may be desperate,
right,
they're going to have to go for somebody that's just a rental.
Right.
So that may be. I mean, like SD, that's why I love you, bro.
You know what I'm saying? When you just renting the player, you don't have to pay as much.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I mean, it might be Gaff Sheets and Stevers and a couple of other arms or something like that. Hey,
no, that I feel like that's an easy go right there if you're the White Sox. If that's what it takes, then you bust that move. And then I feel like you've kind of erased the sting from at least like 1.5 of the players you lost. You get a bat like that in here, and you're talking about not missing the guys that you miss as much as you have, especially because you're bringing that versatility over here, somebody that can play anywhere.
Man, I want y'all to understand the level of ignorance that it will take place on this podcast on the South Side if they add Chris Bryant and
ignorance,
Luis and Eloy come back. I want y'all to understand the level of ish that I'm gonna be talking.
Bro, just give me this. Just give me the mic. Just let me hold it for a little bit, okay? Because I'm gonna have some things to say. But I feel like, honestly, bro, looking at the White Sox and the way that they've changed this culture around, this is some of the best baseball on the South Side in 10 years. This is a time to enjoy it, man. You know what I mean? And I feel like I totally am in a space where I'm having fun watching White Sox baseball every single night. So after that, until we get into the playoff run and then the year starts to close, you can't ask for more. If you're a White Sox fan, just sit back, pop you a brew, whatever you like to do, and enjoy what's going on in the South Side.
All right, so we come off a 5-1 last week. We have big series at home, big 4-game series on the road. This time, when we talk about the White Sox, what's going to be the thing you want to see? 4-3, 5-2.
You know what? Because with the Rays coming in for 3, then we got Detroit, right?
No, the Rays for 3, and then we go
4 with Houston. 4
right.
with Houston right after that.
And then we come back to the Central Division.
I would love 5 wins.
5-2 would be wonderful.
Yeah, I would love 5 wins.
Wait for Tom to get back. Man, we're just waiting for Tom to get back in. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Get him back in, close it out, and we'll see you guys next week around the same time. We'll be talking about the White Sox, how they fared against the Rays, how they fared against the Astros, and then we'll be looking forward to returning to what is a definitely lighter schedule as they face off against the Pirates and the Mariners after that. And then we have the Twins coming to town. So, man, there you have it. We'll be back next week, like we said before. For my guy, Tom, Terrence Tomlin at Tomlin Does It. I am Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. This is, according to the soil, your White Sox podcast, the official. Let's get it. Back, bro.
I am back. My bad, bro.
You were saying 5-2.
Yeah, man. I would love 5 wins. I would settle for 4. But I feel like I wouldn't be surprised at 5 at all.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and get greedy with you and say 5 wins, especially when I look at who we're facing in the Astros series.
Absolutely.
No one scares me, and I like the pitching matchups, and I like who we have going. That Rays series, we know it's just going to be tough, and it's going to come down to who pitches it better, who throws it better, who catches it better, and who hits it better. It's going to be simple baseball, good playoff baseball type games.
Yep.
And, we'll just see how our team fares. Hopefully they can win the series and take 2 out of 3, go into Houston and get 3 out of 4, and give us those 5 wins we're looking for.
And honestly, I love the fact that they were able to get that W today while resting Tim, while resting a lot of guys that are going to be going for the next 7 days. So definitely they're going in with some momentum.
And stop that. That's a good point. Lay off the lineups, man. Like every time the White Sox post the lineup, calm down. Calm the hell down, man. These lineups have them 17 games above 500. Calm down.
I feel like that's just some leftover animosity from Rick Renteria. I feel like Tony La Russa, he was always going to need some time to knock some of the cobwebs off. But lately, some of the changes, some of the in-game changes, some of the lineups, you see that he's finding his lineups, man. And I'm at a point where, like you said, SD, I think the guys can win no matter who they put out there. So
Yeah.
You look at guys like Leury Garcia.
Who took a beating from the fan base early on
Man,
the season.
man, the man was damn near MVP of the weekend.
Man.
You know what I mean? So shout out to the next man up mentality that these guys have, man.
People forget it was just 3 seasons ago where he was our leadoff hitter.
Facts.
The majority of the season.
Facts.
Hit almost 300. Like, the dude is not a bum. He can play baseball.
That's why baseball is as beautiful as it is, man. Anybody can get it.
Yes, sir. According to the Soil, the podcast. Well, my God, Terrence Tomlin, man. First episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back next Sunday, dropping more gems, telling you everything you need to know about the Southsiders and your first place White Sox right here, 17 games above 500, 5.5 clear of the Cleveland Indians. And I don't see anybody else picking up speed that's going to catch us. That's just my honest opinion. But I don't want to get too far out of my skis.
I feel that, SD. It's one of those years, man, where the White Sox can totally just not even look in the rear view as, when we get to late July and August. They can have this thing wrapped up. So
yeah. All right.
It's going to be a fun summer.
Yes, sir. According to the Soil, the podcast, man, you can look for it. It's going to be on both platforms. That is at The Bigs. And you can find that website as you see it scrolling right there, thebigs.us. Go check it out, thebigs.us, for great content. Diamond Talk. T-Tom will be at Guarantee Rate tomorrow night.
Yes, indeed.
The Rays and the White Sox. And then our guy, Eugene, is always going to be post-game covering the Chicago Cubs. We definitely want to plug that. And then you can catch me. I'm in the studio.
Yes, sir.
Files, making sure the radio side is
SD, I be hearing you. I tune in so I can hear you chime in. Your shout outs to love. I'm listening to 1000 for you, bro.
Yeah, the official home of the Chicago White Sox and Chicago's home for sports, man. So We'll see you guys next week right here on According to Soil. Peace out.
Peace.